Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you are all having a great day. To start things off, a little bit of a backdrop. There's been a lot of discussion within the Ethereum community recently because of a number of things. One of the major issues that's happening right now is that Vitalik Buterin, who is the creator of Ethereum, we know him as the head of the project, and usually when things happen or are happening on the coin or when upgrades are proposed, he is typically the person to sometimes give the thumbs up or the thumbs down on what he believes should happen on the project. And this is causing a bit of clashing within the project simply because as a coin that aims to be decentralized or more decentralized than other coins or any other project that we have out there, you cannot have one person at the head of the totem pole in order to kind of give the rules for everything that can happen on the project. So Buterin has been working with economics researcher Dr. Glenn Weil to experiment with the idea of enabling a new kind of voting for Ethereum users. In a blog post announcing the collaboration on May 21st, Buterin described how ideas from Weil's recent book, Radical Markets, could help address these governance challenges and coordinate solutions for contentious issues. Speaking to CoinDesk, Weil, who received a PhD in economics at Princeton University and is now a researcher at Microsoft, explained that quadratic voting aims to focus voters on issues they are passionate about and educated on. Rather than voters being distributed equally across participants, users can purchase extra votes to have a greater say in certain issues. The idea is to allow people to express how important things are to them and not just which direction they feel about it. Let's see exactly how this turns out. I know this has been creeping up for quite some time, and this is kind of the reason why the fork happened or why Ethereum Classic still exists and is still, around. Because a lot of people don't like what's happening, but this is happening on multiple projects. Don't get me wrong. This is not something that's only happening on Ethereum. I said this before in another video. As much as people would like to believe or would like to have a crypto system or every single crypto project not to have a head of the coin, should Vitalik even leave and not be on the project anymore, someone else will eventually take up the helm. And then when we have meetings, when we have discussions, when we have other consensus events, this person will then be sitting in the seat that Vitalik would have sat in the first place. It's happening on every coin. It's not just Ethereum, but the people within Ethereum are looking to try and find a way to smooth this out because potentially, not that Vitalik has too much power, but he is the head of the project. When we talk about Ethereum, we don't talk about any of the other co-creators. We talk about this guy right there. So continuing on. Acceding to the Reserve Bank of India, the Supreme Court of India has barred lower courts from hearing any more petitions pertaining to cryptocurrency. The Supreme Court will hold a hearing in July that will likely determine the fate of cryptocurrency in India. I'll tell you why this is interesting and why another thing that I'm going to read right after this is also ridiculous as well. In April, the Reserve Bank of India issued a circular that prohibited subordinate financial institutions, such as commercial banks, from dealing in cryptocurrencies. Since then, petitions for exemptions to this rule have flooded into courts from around the country. On Thursday, May 17th, the Supreme Court of India sided with arguments from Shyam Divan, counsel for the Reserve Bank of India, the RBI, to stay all cases and bar all state-level high courts from entertaining any further petitions. Substantiated by local media with apparent access to official documentation, the Supreme Court has also directed the transfer of 3 related pending petitions, specifically from 2 Delhi High Court and 1 from the High Court of Calcutta, in an attempt to consolidate the rapidly expanding legal proceedings into one comprehensive judgment of the legitimacy of cryptocurrency. This has been happening for quite some time in India. It's one of those countries where there just hasn't been a yes. There's been no official answer as to what is going to happen. I've said for quite some time, any country that has not given an immediate ban or said a no typically is working on something, and they're trying to, at least in my opinion, they're trying to find a way to tax it. Trying to find a way to make money from it. That's why when I read this article, a couple minutes later, I found another article, and this is why I think exactly what I said is probably coming true. India, the world's second largest country by population, may soon give a glimmer of hope to cryptocurrency investors after months of propagating a negative agenda against the digital asset class. As reported on Bloomberg, India may soon levy an 18% goods and services tax at GST on cryptocurrency trading, notwithstanding their legal ambiguity in the country. Currently, the proposal is being considered by the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs and shall be presented before the GST Council after it is finalized. Like I said, we had a lot of other countries. This came same with Russia, same with, I believe, China. I'm pretty sure China hasn't banned it, and I'm pretty sure they're going to find a way to just tax it as well. If there's not an immediate no, they're typically looking for a way to make money from it. We'll see exactly if cryptocurrencies are legal officially in India anytime soon, but I'm pretty sure that they're just looking for a way to try and line their own pockets, if you will. As stated, the digital asset could be classified under intangible goods on par with other software systems, with the authority adding these separate laws would be introduced to deal with the usage of cryptocurrencies for criminal activities. Previously, in December 2017, CCN reported on the Indian government's crackdown on the cryptocurrency market, which saw both exchanges and traders scrutinized for dealing with and making money on digital assets. Legal authorities also sent a tax notice to over 500,000 traders in a bid to collect huge taxes from their gains. I actually read no follow-up on this story. I wonder exactly what happened, because huge controversy as well. A lot of people who made money on crypto in the US, I think less than 1% of crypto traders actually declared their taxes. So if they sent this to 500,000 people, I wonder how many people actually responded back and or paid. But what I feel like is happening is, okay, first of all, the entire crackdown that we saw around December and January in the cryptocurrency space when it came to people talking about regulations. This is also when South Korea and Thailand and a bunch of other countries in Russia all came forward talking about they were going to ban cryptocurrencies, and then they didn't do it. This is the same exact time when India also came forward and said that they were going to do it as well. All the other ones have slowly started smiling on cryptocurrencies, but it seems that India hasn't kind of gotten on board yet, if you will. I'm going to assume after all of this that they've probably been talking to other countries. They've been talking to other economic ministers. They understand what, if they've opened up a newspaper or I've opened any cryptocurrency website over the last 2 months, everything like I've been reading has been talking about institutional investors entering the cryptocurrency space. So I'm more than sure they're not going to ban it. It's probably going to be some sort of taxation thing, and they're going to be looking for a way to get back taxes from cryptocurrencies. But this is still very interesting, and hopefully by July, we have some type of official news as to what's going to happen with cryptocurrencies in India, because India is a massive country and a potential major player in the cryptocurrency markets, even though there is no legal framework for what they are in the country. Continuing on, this is once again one of the other weird things that we keep reading about. Even though the market is down, this type of stuff still keeps popping up. Avi Saltzman, a senior editor for Barron's magazine, released a report this week featuring big money investors and executives from the rapidly growing cryptocurrency sector who generally believe, despite the recent Bitcoin price drop, and it's been a big one, cryptocurrency will inevitably replace fiat. So pretty much the price of most cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, EOS, and Ripple have more than halved. Naturally, as the valuation of the cryptocurrency market fell by large margins, an increasing number of investors have started to lose interest in the market and confidence in the short-term rally of both major and emerging cryptocurrencies. But regardless of the massive correction, big investors are still extremely optimistic and bullish. Earlier this month, CNBC Fast Money contributor and BKCM founder Brian Kelly emphasized that he was shocked the market did not react to the entrance of the New York Stock Exchange and JP Morgan into the cryptocurrency market. If the two major institutions had entered the market in January when the cryptocurrency market was at an all-time high, it likely would have pushed the cryptocurrency market beyond the $1 trillion mark. I said this multiple times, not even about these two things. I think we were so close to hitting a $1 trillion market. Didn't we hit, was it 750 billion or 800 billion? We were so close. And this is when I think that governments around the world kind of raised their hands and they were like, okay, we have to stop this, because if cryptocurrency, something that is only, Bitcoin is 8-9 years old, and even Ethereum and Ripple and all these other coins, anywhere from 1 to 4 years old. If this, realistically speaking, 4 to 5 year old market had reached $1 trillion valuation, that would have made headlines very, very quick. And I think we would have even hit 2 trillion within at least a month and a half. I think it got, not that it even got too hot. I think that things were heating up too quick for people who didn't know what they were dealing with. Since 2014, 15, 16, every single time that people spoke about cryptocurrencies, it was always negative. It was always, this is a farce, this isn't real. Why are people using this? And if you hit $1 trillion, there aren't countries that are worth $1 trillion. If you hit $1 trillion valuation on digital money, so much money would have flown into the market. It would have been absolutely insane. And it's also kind of, I think that the entire downtrend wasn't helped by countries talking about banning things, because if you had news about the New York Stock Exchange and JP Morgan Chase getting into cryptocurrency around June 2017, the market would have completely lost its mind. To continue on with this article, more institutional investors, retail traders, financial institutions, banks, stock markets, and governments are involved in cryptocurrency sector than ever, and the market is nearly at a yearly low. While most individual investors and newcomers see a sell-off period in a highly volatile time frame like this, large-scale investors see an accumulation period and an opportunity. This is usually why I say I am perplexed. The crypto market went nowhere for years. There was a 2-year period. You think this is frustrating? You think the prices going down was frustrating? Imagine them going sideways for 2 years. The price of Bitcoin didn't move. The price of Ripple was around, it was less than 1 cent for 2 years. Ethereum was actually, a lot of people don't know this because a lot of people are relatively new to the market. Ethereum was actually at a part where they were going to cancel the entire project because they weren't making any money. I think Ethereum was around, what was it? It had to be around $2 or $3 for so long, and then it hit around $8. And Vitalik actually came forward and said, we don't have enough money to continue the project. He said, if the prices of the coins don't move, we can't continue this. And I think about 6 months later, they had an injection of cash, and then the prices started slowly moving upward. If in 2015, 16, and even the beginning of 17, we had all of these things entering the cryptocurrency space, the fact that there are governments and banks mining cryptocurrencies and the prices are still going down, this solidifies in a huge block of ice for me that the entire market is being manipulated at the very top for people to accumulate in order so that they can make major profits later on and pat themselves in the back and say that they become trillionaires, whatever. There is nothing in my mind that tells me this market is manipulated. Like I said, I always read the comment section. I like interacting with you guys. So many people out there don't think the market's manipulated. I keep seeing the comments that people are talking about that it's technical analysis. The prices definitely have to go back down. No, none of that makes any sense. I'm sorry if I'm very passionate at this moment. There is no way you can tell me that all of this isn't coordinated and that the prices aren't being pushed down. We've only had good news for months now. Good 6 weeks, month and a half, more or less. The fact that even the NASDAQ has said that they're creating their own crypto exchange, that all these other people, these mega billionaires are talking about creating their own crypto exchanges and getting into cryptocurrencies, that they own it, they plan on buying and selling it, and that they're partnering up with Coinbase and stuff like that. It's all a little odd. Still, this ties into the fact, or rather, the idea from these people, the heads of Wall Street, the other billionaires and stuff like that, who constantly keep saying that at some point the big money will definitely flow into the market. When that's going to happen is anyone's prediction at this point, because everyone's been saying it's going to happen since March, and then April, and then May, and now we have June as a time frame. Even we had consensus as one of the major things. But yeah, this is going to. I have a feeling in about a year and a half we're all going to be laughing at this, how silly this all was. But something major is happening, and I can't be the only one who is seeing all of this. Okay. Cryptocurrency exchange Huobi Pro is launching a new market index for its customers, the company announced on Wednesday. The Huobi Main Force Index will track 10 different digital assets traded against the USDT on its platform in real time, according to a press release. The index will reflect the overall performance of Huobi Pro Market, allowing investors to see a simple aggregated feed rather than having to check on individual assets one at a time. The index will use weighted samples, according to the press release, which explained Huobi Main Force has divided digital assets into 4 main categories: digital asset, platform, application, and real asset substitute, of which real asset substitute is not included in the index because it represents the price of real assets. Assets will be ranked according to their turnover, and top assets of each category will be selected as index samples. After samples are selected, the sample weight will be calculated based on the daily average trading volume of the previous quarter. Once again, this is launching June 10th. Everything seems to be launching in June in the cryptocurrency world, but this goes back to kind of one of my other thoughts. I think things like CoinMarketCap are, we may not realize it, but I think they're slowly coming to an end. This may be the 15th, 16th, 17th thing that I've read about over the last month and a half of companies that are creating some type of crypto market index, crypto pricing, crypto this. You can go here to check your pricing, especially with the NASDAQ getting into it. I think especially because of the controversy behind CoinMarketCap, them adding coins, taking away coins, adding exchanges, taking away exchanges. I think the market is positioning itself to have things like Coinbase and what's the other one? Not Bittrex. One of the other places where you get like the main numbers from. One of the main exchanges, especially like Binance. I think these eventually will be the places where people will get their prices from, and then they'll all be kind of mashed together on these major websites that traditional markets are kind of more used to. So it'll be interesting to see how the market continues to evolve over the next year, especially as the things that were created by people in the cryptocurrency space eventually kind of become fossils because the institutional investors are taking over and they want things that they are more used to. Continuing on, same exact note. Money Forward Inc., the operator of one of Japan's most popular personal budgeting apps, has announced its plans to launch a crypto asset exchange this year in a company press release stated on Wednesday. A new subsidiary, MF Financial Co. Limited, that launched today will be devoted to the company's new crypto exchange project and will be headed by a member of Money Forward's blockchain and virtual currency laboratory. The press release outlines MF's plans to first launch a crypto media platform by summer 2018, that same exact time frame over and over again, followed by a crypto asset exchange and the construction of a digital asset remittance and settlement service, which the MF laboratory has been researching since 2017 of December. As of late 2017, the Tokyo-based company reportedly has 5.5 million users, with over 500,000 Japanese businesses and 2,400 accounting firms using its cloud-based software for their tax accounting and invoices. Japan is major in the cryptocurrency space, so anytime that you get any type of news about a new exchange is going to be opening, especially because of not the raids that have been happening, but the other companies that have been shut down, or any type of thing about a hack and the government kind of coming in and controlling everything. The market it's doing something spectacular, and I can't really explain it. I'm sure you can see it through all the videos that I've been making. The fact that all these major companies are opening crypto exchanges is very telling, because I was listening to a podcast before about it was about Binance. It was about Binance and it was about Coinbase. I think Coinbase has been around for quite some time, but Binance itself has been around since I believe last June. That is June 2017, more or less. I want to say it's June. They've made more money just off of the profit margins from them taking like a slight cut of people trading cryptocurrencies on their platform than most companies who've been around for 20 to 30 years. That in itself is not only spectacular and absolutely amazing and shows exactly how powerful cryptocurrencies are, but it shows just why so many people want to launch their own crypto exchange. Because there's the guy in the podcast, he said, it's really great that we're number one and stuff, but you have to always look behind you. He said there's no way that Santander, that Bank of America, that JP Morgan, that you see news about these these new kids on the block, these new companies who are making $1 billion. Everyone who started Binance and is working on it, they're all multimillionaires now. He said there's no way these major banks are looking at the news of something called the Binance that's about 9 months old that made $1 billion, and they go, good for them. Good for them. I'm really glad they made money that we could have made. He's like, this is going to be, it's so okay. I like not to spend too much time on this, but I like the idea that more crypto exchanges are coming out, because at the moment, to be real about it, we have about 5 or 6 that people actually trust, that people actually use over the last year. We've had about 4 or 5 of them that have been hacked. And I mean like really bad hacks, not like, someone taking 10 Bitcoin, but it's more like they took like 143,000 of some type of coin. So as this happens, this will increase liquidity within the market, which is also great. But it's also good to see, once again, new people kind of getting into the market. But this is once again very telling in a positive way that when money enters this market, it's going to be something that none of us could have seen, because it's going to be an absolute avalanche of all this stuff that's trying to make their own money as well. And these people have a lot of money. These people are going to find a way to put ads around and billboards and stuff like that for people to come to their exchanges, and this is going to completely change the market as we know it. Monero is in the news. The lead developer of Monero has unveiled a new second layer protocol that will allow users to create and trade digital assets on top of their privacy-centric cryptocurrency network. Interesting. The open source project called Tari will make it possible to program and issue non-fungible assets like loyalty points, in-game items, and concert tickets over the blockchain. The tokens will function similarly to ERC-721 tokens in the Ethereum network, such as CryptoKitties, enabling users to take ownership of unique digital assets. Tari will fundamentally change the way we interact with digital assets, said co-founder Naveen Jain. We are building an amazing team to steward the most useful decentralization platform in existence, empowering anyone to issue, manage, use, and transfer their digital assets. So, I can't remember for the life of me, there was some ICO and I looked at it, I knew it was fake, and actually haven't heard about it at all within the last 6 months, so I assume that things have gone downhill. I won't mention the name, I actually forgot the name, so I can't even mention it if I wanted it to. But there's a huge move right now to digitize assets, to digitize other things that we, diamonds, gold, real estate, and all these other things, and also to be able to make platforms that can kind of mimic CryptoKitties. Ethereum got a lot of flack for having CryptoKitties on it and not being able to handle it, but a lot of people realize that this is something that is definitely going to take off, because there was something else that came out on another coin, I can't remember the name of it at all, and it was similar to that Pokemon game that was similar to CryptoKitties also. I believe it was on Ethereum as well, where people can own these unique digital assets. The people who created these things made a lot of money. One of the CryptoKitties, I think, sold at one point for like $80,000 or something completely ridiculous like that. Is literally like a photo of a cat on a screen. This is going to be really big, and I'm interested in seeing which currency has an app like this built on them first that ends up taking off. Because the idea still is, you have to, your coin has to be big enough and quick enough to be able to handle something like CryptoKitties, and also has to be big enough and fast enough and not cool enough, but you have to be able to build something like the next Instagram or the next Facebook on top of your platform, and whichever coin out there, no one knows which one it is yet because we still are, wishful thinking and speculating. Whichever coin has that is going to be the winner at the end of the day. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see if Monero comes out of left field, creates Tari, ends up having things built on top of its blockchain that allow it to have these other apps and digitization of these assets, and then eventually ends up coming the number one coin. Don't know if that's going to happen. Just kind of fun to think about, I guess. All right, everyone. So this is the last story for the video. Kind of ridiculous. A malicious miner successfully executed a double spend attack on the Bitcoin Gold network last week, making Bitcoin Gold at least the third altcoin to succumb to a network attack during that time span. Bitcoin Gold Director of Communications Edward Iskra first warned users about the attack on May 18th, explaining that a malicious miner was using the exploit to steal funds from cryptocurrency exchanges. To execute the attack, the miner acquired at least 51% of the network's total hash power, which provided them with the temporary control of the blockchain. Obtaining this much hash power is incredibly expensive, even on a smaller network like Bitcoin Gold, but it can be monetized by using it in tandem with a double spend attack. And here is where it gets crazy. After gaining control of the network, the attacker began depositing Bitcoin Gold at cryptocurrency exchanges while also attempting to send the same coins to a wallet under their control. Ordinarily, the blockchain would resolve this by including only the first transaction in the block, but the attacker was able to reverse transactions since they had majority control of the network. That's nuts. Consequently, they were able to deposit funds on exchanges and quickly withdraw them again, after which they reversed the initial transaction so they could send the coins they had originally deposited to another wallet. A Bitcoin Gold address implicated the attack has received more than 388,000 Bitcoin Gold since May 16th, mostly from transactions it sent to itself, obviously. Assuming all of those transactions were associated with the double spend exploit, the attacker could have stolen as much as $18 million worth of funds from exchanges. The last transaction was sent on May 18th, but the attacker could theoretically again attempt to resume it if they still have the access to enough hash power to gain control of the blockchain. This is literally the third or fourth coin this week, and is happening more and more to a lot of the, not the bigger coins, but the smaller coins. Thank goodness. I mean, it's sad that it's happening to any coin, but if the major coins, it was happening to them, the entire price would completely implode. There's a documentary that I was watching, and it's actually very interesting. It was talking about cybercrime and digital crime. In 2016, there were, I think 50 instances or something like that of people who were sending ransom in some sort of way for people to, ransoming their computers, trying to get Bitcoin from them. If they got it, sometimes they didn't. But in 2017, that number upticked really, really fast. And the more expensive these coins become, the more money that people stand to make from this. These things are only going to continue happening, especially there was a problem, not a problem. There was a fear for a while in 2012, 13, somewhere around that Bitcoin would be subject to a 51% attack because it didn't have as much power as it has now, obviously. But if that had happened, Bitcoin would have been completely destroyed, and then we would have a completely different market than we have now. It's kind of crazy. These things will continue to happen. It's happening on a weekly basis now. There are a lot of people who, they aren't as rich as other people. And, being able to make $18 million in a couple of days is a huge incentive for people. So I guess just kind of be careful where you put your money and stuff like that, because this is only going to continue to happen. Not to end it on a, sad note. Didn't mean to, have this sad hacker picture and then end it that way. But this was the kind of the major news of the day. All right, everyone. That is definitely going to do it for this video. As always, hope you guys have a great day. Wherever you are, wherever you might be, whatever you might be doing. I hope it's fantastic. I hope it's awesome. Hope your day is going well. Thank you once again for all the support. Thank you for watching. And yeah, I will talk to you all soon. See you.